Hello everyone, welcome back to Education Express. Now today I take up that is chapter number 2 in civics, President and Vice President. President and Vice President, the chapter's name. First thing you need to understand that President is a nominal head of our country. He is a nominal head of our country. Why am I saying this? India have adopted a parliamentary form of democracy. We have a parliamentary form of democracy, and in a parliamentary form of democracy, remember that the real powers are with the Prime Minister and not with the President. That is the reason why the President is the nominal head of our country. Is that clear? Further, if they ask you a question, who is the executive head of the state? Executive head of the state. Answer is President. He is the executive head of the state. Who is the Supreme Commander of Armed Forces in India? Who is the Supreme Commander of Armed Forces in India? Answer is President. He is the Supreme Commander of Armed Forces in India. He is the executive head of the state. For section A 1 marks, this question do come. Who is the executive head of the state? Answer is President. Who is the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces in India? Answer is President. Okay. Now we start with the qualifications to be the President of India. If one wants to be the President of India, what are the qualifications required? First one, he or she should be a citizen of India. He or she should be a citizen of India. Compulsory to write this point. Second point, he or she should be above the age of 35 years. He or she should have been above the age of 35 years. Third point, he or she should be qualified to be a member of Lok Sabha. He or she should be qualified to be a member of Lok Sabha. I never said he or she should be member of Lok Sabha. I meant to say that he or she should have all the qualifications that are required to be a member of Lok Sabha. I repeat, first one, he or she should be a citizen of India. Second point, he or she should be above the age of 35 years. Third point, he or she should basically have all the qualifications required to be a member of Lok Sabha. And fourth point, he or she should not hold any office of profit under the government. Should not hold any office of profit under the government. Is that very clear? These are the 4 qualifications required to be a President of India. One more time, he or she should be a citizen of India. Second, he or she should have completed 35 years of age. Third point, he or she should be qualified to be a member of Lok Sabha. And fourth point, he or she should not hold any office of profit under the government. Is that clear? Next one. Give the composition of electoral college. Give the composition of electoral college. Now what is this electoral college? This electoral college, they appoint the President of India. Remember, who appoints the President? The electoral college appoints the President of India. So who all are there in this electoral college? Who all are there? Let's see. The electoral college comprise or consists of both the houses of the parliament. It comprises of both the houses of the parliament. It also comprises of the state legislative assemblies, both the houses of the parliament and state legislative assemblies. And also it includes union territories of Delhi and Puducherry. I repeat, give the composition of the electoral college. The electoral college consists of members of both the houses of the parliament and state legislative assemblies. And it also includes the union territories of Delhi and Puducherry. It also includes the union territories of Delhi and Puducherry. Is that clear? Further, next. However, nominated members are not eligible. Nominated members are not eligible for the election of the president. Nominated members, if you remember, Lok Sabha, how many are nominated? 2. Rajya Sabha, how many are nominated? 12. They are not to be included in the electoral college. Fine. So, qualifications and composition of electoral college can come together. And remember, we people aren't electing the president. It is the elected members of both the Houses of Parliament and state legislative assemblies. That means the president is elected how? Directly or indirectly? Indirectly. Directly kab hota hai? When we elect him. But he is not elected by us. He is elected what? Indirectly. Clear? So we finished qualifications and we finished the electoral college ka composition. Now, next one. Very important answer for 3 marks. Short question. Why is the president elected indirectly? Give the reasons for indirect election of president. Your answer. Had the president been elected directly, he would have become a rival center to the power of Council of Ministers. Had the president been elected directly, he would have become a rival center to the power of Council of Ministers. अगर हम directly elect करते, तो it would have become like the current one, the ruling government and the opposition parties, right? तो both एक दूसरे के against हो जाते हैं. So that's what I said. Had the president been elected directly, he would have become a rival center to the power of Council of Ministers. Is that very clear? One more time, first point. Had the president been elected directly, he would have become a rival center to the power of Council of Ministers. And this would be against the parliamentary form of democracy. This would be against parliamentary form of democracy. First point is over. Second point, little bigger, but understand. If the president would have been elected only from the 2 houses of the parliament, if the president would have been elected only from the 2 houses of the parliament, then in that case, the president would not be able to represent entire nation, and he would have become a nominee of the ruling party. If the president would have been elected only from the 2 houses, see, normally president is elected from 2 houses and the state legislative assemblies. So what am I saying? Had he been elected only from the 2 houses of the parliament, then in that case, he would not be able to represent the entire nation, and he would have become a nominee of the ruling party. He would have become a puppet in the hands of the ruling party. Why? Because the 2 houses are dominated by the ruling party only, na? Ruling party का जो दबदबा है वो 2 हाउस में. That is why we don't elect the president only from the 2 houses of the parliament. We elect from the 2 houses and the state legislative assemblies. Because it is not necessary ना कि 2 houses में and state legislative assemblies में सब जहाँ पे ruling party का ही rule हो. Right? Now BJP is in the center. Does BJP is there in all the governments, also state governments? No. So that's what I said. Had the president been elected only from the 2 houses of the parliament, सिर्फ 2 houses को अगर मैंने लिया होता counting में, then such a president would have become a nominee of the ruling party. वो तो फिर ruling party का ही आदमी होता था, and he would not be able to represent the entire nation. Is that clear? And third point. So then how is the president elected? वो तो आपको मालूम ही है. He is elected from both the houses of the parliament, state legislative assemblies, and the union territories of Delhi and Puducherry. He is elected from both the houses of parliament, state legislative assemblies and union territories of Delhi and Puducherry. So these are the reasons why the president is elected indirectly. One more time, आराम से. First point, had the president been elected directly, he would have become a rival center to the power of the Council of Ministers. He would have become a rival center to the power of the Council of Ministers, which would be against parliamentary form of democracy. Second one, I told you, had he been appointed from the 2 houses of the parliament, then he would have become a nominee of the ruling party. Because the 2 houses are dominated by the ruling party only, and he would not be able to represent the entire nation. And third point, I told you, how is he elected? That you know, he is elected from both the houses of parliament, state legislative assemblies, and union territories of Delhi and Puducherry. 3 points, 3 marks, sure question. Next one. The next one we have, that is, who gives the oath to the president? Who administers the oath of office to the president? That means when the president is taking his oath, who gives him the oath? Your answer for 1 mark. It is the Chief Justice who gives oath to the president. Who gives the oath? The Chief Justice gives the oath to the president. Okay. Next. President ka term. What is the term of the president? Term or tenure? The term or tenure of the president is for 5 years. Is for how many years? 5 years. He can, however, resign also before 5 years, and he can also be removed from the office before the term of 5 years. And that is his removal before the term of 5 years is called as impeachment. What is it called? Impeachment. Before 5 years, if he wants to resign, then he has to give his resignation to whom? To the vice president. If president has to resign, he has to give his resignation to the vice president, and the vice president shall communicate to the speaker of the Lok Sabha. And the vice president shall communicate it to the speaker of the Lok Sabha. One more time. Who gives the oath to the president? Who gives the oath? So I told you what? The Chief Justice. Who gives oath to the president? The Chief Justice gives the oath to the president. Okay? What is the term of the president's office? Term or tenure? 5 years. Can he resign before the term of 5 years? Yes. So, he has to give the resignation to whom? To the vice president. And vice president will communicate to whom? To the speaker of the Lok Sabha. Okay? So, and if he is removed before the term of 5 years, it is called as what? Impeachment. So, removal of the president for violation of the constitution, removal of the president for the violation of the constitution is called as impeachment. I repeat again, removal of the president for violation of the constitution is called as impeachment. So, define impeachment. Removal of the president for violation of constitution is called as impeachment. This is called as impeachment. Is that very clear? So, removal of the president for violation of the constitution is called as impeachment. Now, next answer for 3 marks. Explain the procedure of impeachment. When you are asked the procedure of impeachment, you need to write the definition compulsorily. Give the procedure for impeachment. What is the procedure for impeachment? I start with the procedure. First thing, within 14 days, at least 1/4 of the members should sign a petition that they want to impeach the president. First thing, within 14 days, 1/4 of the members should sign a petition that they want to remove the president. Okay? So, first thing, within 14 days, 1/4 members should sign a petition for impeachment of president. Once this is done, then only impeachment procedure can proceed further. Now, next one. This impeachment procedure can be initiated in either house of the parliament. This procedure can be initiated in either house of the parliament. So, it can be initiated in either house of the parliament. Either house, it can start in Lok Sabha also or in what? Rajya Sabha. Afterwards, if everything is against the president, it has to be passed by 2/3 majority. 2/3 majority should pass for impeachment in the house. So एक हाउस ने 2/3 मेजॉरिटी पास कर दिया. Now it goes to another house. Now it will go to another house. There also same procedure will be followed. There the president will be given a chance to defend himself. President का भी तो सुनना तो पड़ेगा ना कि why, what did he do or why did he do such. So he is given a chance to defend himself. So other house investigates the charge and president can defend himself. Yet if this house also passes a resolution by 2/3 majority, then the president stands impeached. So first thing कि president को impeach करना है तो उसके लिए first thing is what? There has to be a resolution by 1/4 members signing the petition within how many days? 14 days. Then the charge goes in either house of the parliament. There if they pass a majority by 2/3 that they want to impeach the president, then it goes to another house. There the charge gets investigated. पूरा वही procedure follow होगा. Charge will get investigated. President will be given a chance to defend himself. And if that house also passes a resolution by 2/3 majority, then the president will be what? Impeached. Then the president will be impeached. Is that very clear? But sir, suppose Rajya Sabha is passed, but Lok Sabha is not passed. This 2/3 majority. Then will he be impeached? No, he won't be impeached. Both the houses has to pass a resolution. That's where Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha they enjoy co-equal powers. That's where they both enjoy what? Co-equal powers. Is that very clear? So till now I finished till impeachment. One more time, what all we have done? We started with who is the executive head of the state? President. Who is the supreme commander of the armed forces? President. Give the qualifications to be the president of India. He or she should be a citizen of India. He or she should have completed 35 years of age. Third point, he or she should not hold any office of profit in the government, and he or she should have all the qualifications as required for the member of Lok Sabha. Then we had done the electoral college ka composition. The electoral college indirectly elects the president. The composition is, it includes both the houses of the parliament and state legislative assemblies and union territories of Delhi and Puducherry. However, nominated members are not included in it. Itna hi hai wo answer. Then, why is the president elected indirectly? Had the president been elected directly, he would have become a rival center to the power of Council of Ministers. He would have become a rival center to the power of Council of Ministers, which would be against parliamentary form of democracy. Second one is he would, if he would have been appointed only from the two houses of the parliament, had he been appointed only from the two houses of the parliament, then he would be a nominee of the ruling party, because the two houses are dominated by the ruling party only, and he would not be able to represent the entire nation. And third, how is he appointed? He is appointed from both houses of parliament, state legislative assemblies, and union territories of Delhi and Puducherry. Next one, what did we do? Next, I had done who gives the oath to the president is the Chief Justice. What is the tenure for the president? 5 years. Can he resign before the term of 5 years? Yes. He has to give the resignation to whom? To the vice president, and he shall communicate to the speaker. Can the president be removed before the term of 5 years? Yes. It is called impeachment. And the reason for impeachment is violation of the constitution. What is the procedure for impeachment? First, 1/4 members will sign within how many days? 14 days. Then the charge goes in either house of the parliament. There 2/3 majority has to be passed for its removal. 2/3 majority who are present and voting. 2/3 majority of the members who are present and voting. Then it goes to the other house. There they will investigate that charge. There they will give the president to defend his case. And if that house also passes a resolution by 2/3 majority of the members who are present and voting, then the president stands to be what? Removed. That's impeachment. Clear? The next answer, we move on to the executive powers of the president. Give the executive powers of the president. 4 marker answer, very, very important. Give the executive powers of the president. Executive powers of the president. The first point under the executive powers of the president, first point, he is the head of the union. First point, head of the union. Now, the president, he is the head of the union administration. Inside what you have to write? President is the head of the union administration. All orders are passed in the name of the president. All orders are passed in the name of the president. कोई भी order country में pass होता है, they are always in the name of the president because he is the head of the union administration. Done? First point इतना ही है. What will you write inside? The president is the head of the union administration. All important orders or all orders are passed in the name of the president. Second point, appointments. Appointment. Whom does he appoints? He appoints the prime minister and on his advice the council of ministers. First thing, he appoints the prime minister and on his advice he appoints the council of minister and he invites the majority party, जो पार्टी को सबसे ज्यादा वोट मिले, that party का leader is the prime minister. That also you need to write. Then he appoints the governors of the state, lieutenant governors, attorney general, and comptroller and auditor general of India. At least these 4 names you need to write. Comptroller and Auditor General of India. He is like the CA of our country. Comptroller and Auditor General of India. You have to write full name. So appointments, he appoints the Prime Minister and on the advice of Prime Minister, he appoints the Council of Ministers. He invites the leader of the majority party to become the Prime Minister. He appoints the governors of the state. He also appoints the Lieutenant Governors. Lieutenant Governors are in Union Territories. He appoints Attorney Generals and Comptroller and Auditor General of India. First point, the head of the union. What to write inside? The president is the head of the Indian Union. All orders are passed in the name of the president. Third point, control over state government. Control over state government or control over the states. During presidential rule, the states, they come under the president. During a presidential rule, all the states, they have to abide by the order of the president. What is the presidential rule? In the chapter आगे you will get it. Ahead you will get this about it. So during the presidential rule, all powers are in the hands of the president. States के हाथ में कोई power नहीं होता है. All powers are in the hands of the president. And fourth, union territories and border areas. Our union territories and border areas are also in the hands of the president. Our union territories and border areas are in the hands of the president. They come under the control of the president of India. Union territories, India has got 7 union territories, okay, and all our border areas. कितना आपका border होना चाहिए दूसरे एक state का दूसरे state के बीच में? How much should be the border? All are decided by the president. So they come under the executive powers of the president. 4 marker answer. One more time. First one. He is the head of the union. The president is the head of the Indian Union. All orders are passed in the name of the president. Second point, appointments. He appoints the prime minister and on his advice council of ministers. He invites the leader of the majority party to form the government. He appoints the governors of the states, the lieutenant governors of the union territories, the attorney general and the comptroller and auditor general. He has got control over the states. The president has got control over the state. during a presidential rule, the entire states, all the state in that state, जब जो state में presidential rule आ गया है, the state comes under the control of the president. And fourth point, union territories and border areas. All union territories and border areas, they come under the control of the President of India. So they are the executive powers of the President. Clear? The next one, we have legislative powers. Legislative powers of the President. What are the legislative powers of the President of India? Legislative powers. Now, under the legislative powers of the President of India, legislative powers में first point, addresses the session of the parliament. Now, addresses the joint session of the parliament. Better word would be joint session. This question comes in section A also. Very, very important. When does the president address the joint session of both the houses of the parliament? Joint session of both the houses of the parliament. मतलब दोनों का साथ में कब होता है? There are two circumstances when the president gives the joint session of, or when does he addresses the session of both the houses of the parliament. एक तो each year before the start of any session, each year before the start of the budget session, the president gives joint meetings of both the houses of the parliament. So first thing is before budget session every year, and second one, when both houses meet first time after general elections. So, when does the president addresses the joint session? One is before the budget session every year, and second case when both the houses meets for the very first time after general elections. Once the elections are over, general elections जो after every 5 years आता है, when both the houses को साथ में he gives a address. Address मतलब his speech is given to them. So 2 marker answer or 1 marker answer. When does the president addresses the joint session of both the houses? 1 before budget session every year, मतलब budget session के चालू होने के पहले, and second when after general elections both the houses meet for the first time. Is that very clear? Second point, we have messages to the parliament or to the house. He gives messages to the parliament on what? On pending bills and other issues. On pending bills and other issues. What are bills? A power to make a law is called as what? Bill. That is called as bill. Power to make any laws. तो कोई भी laws जो bill में convert होने वाले बाकी हो, so on that he basically gives their message. Now, some 4 points what we have done in chapter number 1. Dissolves the Lok Sabha. Right? We have done this in chapter number 1. Who can dissolve the Lok Sabha? President can dissolve the Lok Sabha on the advice of the Prime Minister. Remember, who can dissolve the Lok Sabha? President on the advice of the Prime Minister. So, President on advice of Prime Minister. Fourth one, nomination of members. Nomination of members. How many members do the president nominate in the parliament? If you remember first chapter, he nominates 2 members from the Anglo-Indian community in the Lok Sabha, right? So Anglo-Indians. And 12 members are nominated in the Rajya Sabha from the fields of art, science, literature. So nomination of members. So who dissolves the Lok Sabha? President on the advice of the Prime Minister. He also nominates to the members, 2 members in the Lok Sabha from the Anglo-Indian community and 12 members to the Rajya Sabha from Art, Science and Literature. Fifth point, ordinances. Very, very important. What are ordinances? President can give an ordinance when both the houses of the parliament are not in session. See, laws are made in the parliament. If the parliament is not in session and an important law has to be passed, that law is passed only and only by the president. But understand that this law is a temporary law. It will remain only till 6 weeks after the reassembly of both the houses of the parliament. It will remain only till how many weeks? 6 weeks after the reassembly of both the houses of the parliament. One more time. Who issues the ordinances? Ordinance is a temporary law passed by the president when the parliament is not in session. Ordinance is a temporary law passed by the president when the parliament is not in session. Why did I say it is a temporary law? Because it will cease to operate 6 weeks after the reassembly of both the houses of the parliament. Is that clear? That's ordinance. Next point, formation of states. Formation of states. Any new state in the country can only be formed with the assent of the president. Assent matlab signature of the president. Is that very clear? Any new state can be formed only with an assent of the president. President ने अगर assent नहीं दिया, new state cannot be formed. Is that clear? So, who dissolves the Lok Sabha? I told you, President on the advice of the Prime Minister. Nomination of the members, 2 in the Lok Sabha from the Anglo-Indian community, 12 in the Rajya Sabha from Art, Science, Literature. Ordinance, the temporary law passed by the President when the Parliament is not in session. It is temporary because it ceases to operate 6 weeks after the reassembly of both the houses of the Parliament. Formation of states. A new state in the country can be formed only with the assent of the Prime Minister. Only with the assent of the president. Extremely sorry. Assent means signature of the president. Clear? So these are the 6 points. See, you get 4 marker answer. I know you need to do 4 points, but I would say that you learn all the 6 points because they can ask you on any point for 2 marker. Like this point addresses the joint session and all. And one more. Summons and prorogue the House of the Parliament. Who summons and prorogues the House of the Parliament? The President summons and prorogues both the Houses of the Parliament. The gap between the 2 meetings should not be more than 6 months. The gap between the 2 meetings should not be more than 6 months. And we have got 3 sessions: budget session, monsoon session, and also that is winter session. Budget session February to May, monsoon session July, August, and winter session that is basically from November onwards. So this under summons and prorogue. So who summons and prorogues both the houses of Parliament? The President. The gap between the 2 meetings should not be more than 6 months. And the 3 sessions: budget, monsoon and winter session. So the 7 points are done for legislative powers of the President. Now we move on to the next answer. This will be the last answer for this video. In this part of the video, the other part, other continuation will be there. Judicial powers of the President. Give the judicial powers of the President. 3 points, 3 mark. First point, the President is not answerable before any court of law in India. President is not answerable before any court of law in India. कभी आपने देखा है प्रेसिडेंट को कटघरे में खड़े होते हुए या किसी के लिए सबूत देते हुए? Nothing. He is never even asked as a witness also. So President is not answerable before any court of law in India. Second point, no criminal proceedings can be initiated against the President during his tenure. No criminal proceedings can be initiated against the President during his tenure. मतलब जब तक वो प्रेसिडेंट है उसके ऊपर कोई भी कानूनी कार्यवाही नहीं होगी. That doesn't mean he can kill someone and stay for 5 years. If he has killed someone, first thing उसको impeach करेंगे, निकाल देंगे, and then criminal proceedings can be filed. Is that clear? So why like that? Because we don't want something wrong or to malign the image of the president's office That is why first he has been removed and then. So 2 points I finished, very simple. First one, he is not answerable before any court of law in India. President is not answerable before any court of law in India. Second point I told you, no criminal proceedings can be initiated against the president during his tenure. And third point, president has a power to grant pardon. He has a power to grant pardon. Pardon मतलब माफी कर सकता है वो किसी को. Grant pardon, reprieve, respite or give remissions. Reprieve, respite or give remissions in case of court martials or in case of death sentence. In case of court martial or in case of death sentence. मतलब if somebody has been pronounced a death sentence by the Supreme Court और उसकी सजा अगर कम करनी हो तो खाली कौन कर सकता है? That is president. He has a power to grant pardon, reprieve, respite or give remissions. Reprieve, respite or give remissions if in case of court martials, A point, B point you can cancel and C point in case of death sentence. 3 points, 3 marker answer. One more time. Give the judicial powers of the President of India. First point, he is not answerable before any court of law in India. Second point, no criminal proceedings can be initiated against him during his tenure as the president. And third point, he has the power to grant pardon, reprieve, respite or remission in case of court martial or in case of death sentence. So we did 3 powers: executive, legislative and judicial. We did impeachment and its procedure. We did reasons for indirect election of the president and qualifications of the president and the composition of the electoral college in this part of the video. The other part of the chapter will be continued in the next link. Thank you very much.